Crowd of up to 200 teens and young adults gathered in downtown Naperville, where officers reported disruptive behavior and multiple ordinance violations. Police arrested a 15-year-old girl from Aurora on 3 felony counts of aggravated battery to a police officer. She also faces misdemeanor charges for resisting arrest, littering, and obstruction. The second incident unfolded Saturday night on the northeast side of Naperville, where about 100 individuals gathered. Police say some participants drove recklessly and lit off fireworks. Officers issued several citations during the event, and a 20-year-old man from McHenry was arrested the following day after an investigation linked him to crimes committed during the gathering. He's charged with reckless driving, reckless conduct, criminal damage to property, and mob action. Lockport Street in Plainfield will see some congestion in a few weeks with the start of an Illinois Department of Transportation project. IDOT will begin bridge deck repairs on Lockport Street in June. As a result, Lockport Street will be restricted to one-way eastbound traffic between Wood Farm Road and Main Street for the duration of the project. Drivers should plan ahead and allow for extra time to drive through the area. Village staff said they will share more information about the project as soon as IDOT makes it available. 9 residents of a house in Elgin had to be relocated after a fire early Monday morning. The Daily Herald reports firefighters responded to a house on the 300 block of Seneca Street just after 4 a.m. on May 19th to find heavy fire on the porch. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the porch and extinguish it quickly, but the interior of the home suffered smoke damage. One person was checked by paramedics on the scene and released. Fire department investigators believe the fire was accidental, caused by discarded smoking materials left on the front porch. The estimated damage to the property is about $25,000.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/apply. That's ethos.com/apply.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has 2 convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. High wave action and dangerous currents expected from Thursday morning through Thursday evening. Tonight, rain showers likely. Cloudy with a low around 46. A chance of rain showers tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 58. Looking ahead to Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 63. Currently, it is 50 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. under Radio Light. Big time sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports fan from the heart of Chicagoland.
Good evening. This is Derrick Geyer, Big Top Sports on WRMN AM 1410. Yes, it was a wild and wacky, crazy White Sox game that had happened. Unfortunately, they dropped 2 out of 3 to the Seattle Mariners. Yeah, it just is what it is, but they went ahead and they fought tooth and nail for this one. It was a pleasantly entertaining baseball game, to say the least. Hey, what's up, Jeff's Train World? Appreciate you for tuning in the shop, on the shop. Yeah, either way, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean, gotta say, my draft doing pretty good. Miguel Vargas tearing it up. I mean, even though he didn't really have a good game today. Who else? Andrew Vaughn starting to kind of pick it up a little bit, even though his atom balls are hit right at people, getting those, putting them out, and then he gets, little dribblers, little duck snorts, little, parachute balls dumping in for, base hits and everything. So you were able to hear the voice of Len Casper and DJ on WRMN AM 1410, part of the Chicago White Sox network. Good karma brand, I think. I hope. But if you want to call in the studio, please do so. That is 847-931-1410. Or if you want to hop on the text line, that is 505-926-1410. As always, you can see my pretty face on youtube.com/@WRMN Radio. So, yeah, go to the live feed. Thank you for the lead in from Dennis Sonar Green with his apolitical talk show. Appreciate it. Yeah, I would say the Sox are better than last year, Jeff. Tuning in on the YouTube live feed. Like I've said, it is time for the younger players to shine. It is time for the younger pitchers to come up, do their job. Shane Smith did a decent enough job today, and all the other players that are coming up. I mean, the one big thing that is the one big thing that needs to kind of change is the fact that Luis Robert needs to figure it out. On the post-game show with Jeff Meller, he had said that the reason why anytime Luis Robert is getting on base and he's stealing is because he wants to contribute. He's still doing pretty good in the outfield. He's still shagging the fly balls that he can get to. He's still making decent plays out there, but he is, I don't know, you need to call a search party to really see where he is at the plate, in the plate, when he's up to bat, that is. So that's part of the deal. Once they figure that out, I'm pretty sure that he is not going to be long for Chicago anymore. And this isn't to say anything bad about Luis Robert. It's just that over the course of the last few years, it's been a struggle bus to be on the Chicago White Sox. It's been a struggle bus to be a fan rooting for the Chicago White Sox. Now, I am currently wearing a Chicago Cubs hat. That is my team of choice. I have been rooting for them for 8 years. A lot of clarifications there, right? But does that mean that I want the Chicago White Sox to do bad? Absolutely not. It is a lot more fun to talk about two competing baseball teams in the city of Chicago at the same time when they're both doing well. And when they're both doing horribly wrong or they're both doing bad, my goodness, is it a long summer. It is definitely a long summer because baseball's my jam. Baseball's my one true and first sporting love, if you will. Now, as far as, the Chicago Cubs go, they're 7-2 after this past 9-game stretch. And this is exactly where I said the Cubs needed to be. They needed to feast on the teams that were before them. And the teams that were before them were 6 games with the Miami Marlins and 3 games against the Chicago White Sox. Well, if you were anyone, or if you were a Chicago baseball fan, you knew the outcome for the Windy City Classic, the Crosstown Cup, or whatever it was this past weekend. The Cubs took care of business. They took care of what they needed to take care of when the opposing team gave them opportunities to score runs. And that's exactly what happened today in the 2-1 victory over the Marlins and getting a 2 out of 3 game win of the series today against the Marlins. Had it not been for a bad bullpen outing on, Monday, then they would have swept that series as well. And it would have been an 8-1 9-game stretch. But this is exactly what they needed to do because they needed to keep pace and or stay ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals. And right now, I mean, geez Louise. Okay, come on. Oh, there it is. Operator error. Well, it looks like the Cardinals have lost a couple of games while the Cubs have picked up a couple of games because, my goodness, when they started this past 9-game stretch, the Cardinals were only a game back of the Chicago Cubs. And if anyone, and as anyone being a Chicago Cubs fan, and you see the St. Louis Cardinals in back by a game, you're absolutely freaking out because you have absolutely no idea where these players are coming from, how they've got there, and why they're doing so good, other than it's like the St. Louis Cardinals organization. Because we've seen this year in, year out, and it's just PTSD all over again. And the Cubs are doing pretty good. They're 10 games above 500 as of today. They're 7-3 in the last 10. However, the St. Louis Cardinals are 27-23, and they're 6-4 in the last 10. At one point, they won 8 straight games. I'm going to switch gears up on the other side and bring attention to something that I haven't really heard much about this month, as it is Mental Health Awareness Month in May. So I will take you on a little ride on the other side of this break. You're listening to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM. River Media Network. Sports!
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400, and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Ready to tackle your junk piles? Call the Junk Luggers. From old furniture to entire cleanouts, we do the heavy lifting. And here's the best part. We rehome and recycle as much as possible to keep it all out of landfills. Feel good about your cleanout the green way. Call 1-800-LUG-JUNK or visit junkluggers.com today for your eco-friendly, stress-free service.
Are you suffering with anxiety, depression, PTSD, an eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem? If it's causing problems at work or with your family, get help now at Insight Mental Health and Wellness. We can help and treat all types of depression and mental issues. We'll help you use your insurance to get away from it all to a beautiful, sunny, and tranquil vacation-like environment so you can recharge yourself. And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you could take the time off you need from work. Plus, with the Affordable Care Act, your treatment could be 100% covered. If you're suffering from any kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem, use your insurance and get away from it all. Come to sunny California. Call Insight Mental Health and Wellness now. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. That's 800-419-0287.
Welcome back to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM, the talk of the town, River Media Network Sports. Yeah, so at the commercial break, I wanted to switch things up a little bit because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it is observed in May each year in the United States, aiming to raise awareness about mental health issues, reduce stigma, and promote education and support for those affected by mental health conditions. Yes, I realize this is a sports show, but this is an issue that is near and dear to myself. And I will explain in a little bit. So this was established in 1949 by the Mental Health America and includes various activities and themes each year to encourage public engagement and advocacy. The reason why I bring this up is, well, it's Mental Health Awareness Month in May. And stupidly, I did not realize this. But then again, I'm not one to really go into what each month is, or I'll hear about something, and the reason why I'm even talking about this, because full disclosure, it was in a group chat with the fine folks here in the WRMN River Media Network Sports Department. And I was like, oh, okay. At first, I was hesitant about talking about this, because it seems like whenever I would talk about it or bring this up, I'd always get the uncomfortable glances or the uncomfortable looks or the silences when I started talking about my situation all the way back in 2014. Now, obviously, it's almost 11 years or so ago that an actor by the name of Robin Williams decided to no longer be a part of Earth. So he unalived himself. I think that's the correct way of saying it, unalived. And the reason why I bring this up is because I am forever, in my heart of hearts and in my head of heads, I am going to be forever connected with Robin Williams. Now, no, I am by nowhere near as famous as him. I am doing a sports radio show on WRMN AM 1410 in Elgin, which is the grand scheme of things. It's a relatively small radio station, relatively small market, right? But with that being said, I too almost unalived myself. Ooh, I just got chills up and down my spine. And if you're watching on the YouTube feed, you could see me shaking out my arms because, yes. Sorry. I wasn't exactly sure how this was going to affect me by actually putting this out there on these airwaves and to opening up myself to the potential scrutiny and microscopic notions that everyone goes through, in this day and age by openly talking about it. But I had gone through a very dark time in my life. Anyone who has thought about doing that has gone through a very dark time in their life. Now, in my case, and I'll give you a glimpse into it, I see you on the line, caller, but just give me a moment or so to get through this a little bit. So I was a truck driver at one point in time. I haven't always been, that was my second job, or my first job to get through and to pay the bills and everything. So I did that because I was trying to provide for my family, my new wife that I was with for about 10 years or so. Actually, I was with for about 4 years or so before we got divorced, but together a total of 14 years. Now, with that being said, I got hurt at work, and I was out of work for, a good year. And I got better, started working again, and I was over the road. So I was on the road for about 5 or 6 days a week. Yeah, the relationship strained. It got further apart, right? And all of a sudden, one day coming through, we're having lunch, and I know that something's off. Something's really off. And I could always sense this. So I asked, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Because it never got to the point of, her telling me. I could just, tell because I felt that I was really in tune with her. And, she told me that she didn't love me anymore. Okay, cool. We went ahead and we worked on it. And it got to the point where things got better. Then all of a sudden I found a local job, so I wasn't really on the road for 5 to 6 days a week, but I was working overnights 5 to 6 days a week, so I still wasn't seeing her. Fast forward, I got hurt again. And in that meantime, we were trying to have kids. Didn't have any kids, thank God. Thank goodness. And all of a sudden, about like 3 or 4 months later, again, it was, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? Do you want a divorce? Oof. Man, did that really, kind of stung. Really stung, if I'm being fulsome with you guys, and, I have no reason not to be. So, okay, fast forward. We had been married for about 4 years, 2014, about the same week of, the time that Robin Williams decided to not be around anymore, was the same week where I was at my lowest point ever. Ever. Like forever. And in cleaning up my house to put it up for sale, I came across a photo album of all the momentums and memories and everything that I had with her for like the last 10 years or so. I called her up. I asked her if she wanted it. She said no. Now, being hurt and my body being broken at the time and going through all the mental anguish and mental pain, as you can guess and see where it was going, I decided that I was going to unalive myself. Thank goodness I did not. It's 11 years. It would be 11 years in August, and I'll tell you a little bit more on the other side. You're listening to Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM. Derrick Geyer.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin time.
I'm Trey Westerberg, WRMN News.
9 residents of a house in Elgin had to be relocated after a fire early Monday. Reports firefighters responded to a house on the 300 block of Seneca Street just after 4 a.m. on May 19th to find heavy fire on the porch. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the porch and extinguish it quickly, but the interior of the home suffered smoke damage. One person was checked by paramedics on the scene and released. Fire department investigators believe the fire was accidental, caused by discarded smoking materials left on the front porch. The estimated damage to the property is about $25,000. Naperville police responded to 2 large gatherings over the weekend that resulted in several citations and 2 arrests, highlighting growing concerns about disruptive meetups as summer nears. Fox 32 reports on Friday night a crowd of up to 200 teens and young adults gathered in downtown Naperville, where officers reported disruptive behavior and multiple ordinance violations. Police arrested a 15-year-old girl from Aurora on 3 felony counts of aggravated battery to a police officer. She also faces misdemeanor charges for resisting arrest, littering, and obstruction. The second incident unfolded Saturday night on the northeast side of Naperville, where about 100 individuals gathered. Police say some participants drove recklessly and lit off fireworks. Officers issued several citations during the event, and a 20-year-old man from McHenry was arrested the following day after an investigation linked him to crimes committed during the gathering. He's charged with reckless driving, reckless conduct, criminal damage to property, and mob action. Lockport Street in Plainfield will see some congestion in a few weeks with the start of an Illinois Department of Transportation project. IDOT will begin bridge deck repairs on Lockport Street in June. As a result, Lockport Street will be restricted to one-way eastbound traffic between Wood Farm Road and Main Street for the duration of the project. Drivers should plan ahead and allow for extra time to drive through the area. Village staff said they will share more information about the project as soon as IDOT makes it available.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I'm Nick Freeman, and here's what was happening in our fair city 100 years ago. City water is entirely safe, tests prove. If the water that flows out of your kitchen faucet looks like it's just come out of a coal mine, don't be alarmed. A test of the city's water, just completed by Dr. A.L. Mann, city physician, revealed that there is a remarkable freedom from bacteria in it. The black sediment is simply iron sulfate, he explained, and is beneficial to public health rather than detrimental. The city's water is in an almost perfect condition at the present time, Dr. Mann declared after making tests. There is no danger whatever from...
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. High wave action and dangerous currents expected from Thursday morning through Thursday evening. Tonight, rain showers likely. Cloudy with a low around 46. A chance of rain showers tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 58. Looking ahead to Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 63. Currently, it is 50 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
The weather is getting better, and we know it's the time when ladders and DIYers come out. Before you start any new outdoor projects, ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and the tools you're using. so maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any type of work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
2815 Old Jacksonville, Springfield. CordellCordell.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Top Sports, feel the roar.
That's right. You are listening to Big Top Sports on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN River Media Network Sports. Now, before I went to break, and you're getting a bonus half hour here of Big Top Sports and yours truly, starting at 5:30 today. Before I went to break, I was talking about my situation and it being May being Mental Health Awareness Month. So not exactly the start if you're tuning in exactly at 6 o'clock to hear Big Top Sports. I'm getting through like some personal stuff here. And I just want to say thank you to WRMN, Sonar, Dean, Matt, for allowing me the opportunity to actually be on these airwaves, which, as I was saying before going to break, 11 years or so ago, 2014, pretty much the week of Robin Williams deciding to unalive himself, I was going through the same thing. Came across, was getting divorced. I was in very bad physical shape. I was off of work for a while, or I re-injured an old injury. And I'd come across this photo album. 10, 14 years of memories with this person that I thought would never do any harm or wrong to me. And I called her up, asked her if she wanted it. She said no. Oof. That was pretty much like almost the last straw. I reached out to someone who, because I was there, I was in the dark place. My body was turning against me. My mind was all over the place. I mean, it was in the deepest, darkest, blackest abyss, despair, you name it. I was in it. I tried doing so many different mind games for myself, tricks where I would do things to keep my mind occupied. But then when I was done with that, it went right back. It was like someone was clawing me back in, that old saying, it pulled me back in. They pulled me back in. Well, that's kind of like what was going on in my head. It might as well have been a horror movie. And it was. It was a horror movie because that's pretty much how I had viewed it and what I was going through. And it was one kick to the groin after another kick to the groin and so on and so forth. It was one shovel of dirt on top of another where I might as well have been, I might as well have been at the base of Mount Everest or whatever, or whatever. The deepest ocean trench in the world where you could fit the Empire State Building in it. But I reached out, got some help. And that little itty bitty thing, that little reaching out and to have someone actually feel like they cared, meant the absolute world to me. I am still here because of that. I am still here because an act of kindness. It's been 11 years. And I couldn't imagine not being here for the past 11 years. I've met so many great people. I've done so many amazing things over the course of the last 11 years. I wouldn't be here right now on WRMN AM 1410 if I would have went through with it. I don't mean to bring anyone down. Maybe that ship has already sailed, and I'm sorry about that. But you need to know, everyone's going through something. But it is all right to be going through something. I can't tell you, if I had $1 for every time I said that I was okay, and let's be honest, anyone that says that they are okay, probably 90% of the time, they are not okay. I mean, half the population in guys, I know that when they say they are okay, they're not really okay because something's going on in their lives. Something's going on in everyone's life. And I just wanted to talk about it. If you want to get in on this conversation right now, I'll keep it going for as long as, the bottom of the hour. 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. Or we actually have the text line at 505-926-1410. 505-926-1410. Now, whoever was calling before, sorry, I was in the middle of this story and I didn't mean to, be off-putting or whatever, but I just didn't want you to be on hold for, half an hour, 45 minutes, or however long it took me to get through. And if you do need help, there are outlets there to you. And Lifeline, get help at 988. That's it. Three numbers. You pick up your phone, 988. Someone will answer the phone for you. No, this is not an advertisement for 988 or, whatever hotline, but it is a hotline for you to call. Be anonymous. Talk about your problems. Get through to the other side. It stinks to constantly be putting on a brave face for everyone. Yeah, it's okay. Things are okay. I'm okay. This is okay. And things aren't always okay. And it's okay for things not to be okay. At the bottom of the hour, I will be talking to Grant Leader from the Divided podcast about his OKC Thunder and the absolute butt whooping that they put on Golden State over the weekend. The butt whooping that they put on, well, brain fart. I have absolutely no idea who they played yesterday. Timberwolves. That's it. Timberwolves. So we will discuss that with him at the bottom of the hour. You are currently listening to WRMN 1410 AM. We'll be back.
Saturday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on WRMN AM 1410. If you're a homeowner or contractor looking to tackle those projects that feel a bit too big, this is the show for you. Join Eric along with his knowledgeable guests as they dive deep into everything from DIY renovations to creating a healthy home environment. We'll provide you with the tools and tips you need to complete your projects with confidence and ease. But it's not all work and no play. We believe in having fun. Our passion for home improvement shines through as we help you save time, money, and reduce the stress of DIY. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, don't miss Around the House. Tune in every Saturday night and let's tackle those home projects together.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For a little lighthearted lawlessness on Sunday afternoons, listen to Handle on the Law from 4 to 7 p.m. Handle on the Law is a unique combination of useful legal advice and outrageous handle remarks. Whether you're talking about Big Brother, big business, big legal problems, or Big Macs, you'll rarely find Bill without an opinion. His rapid-fire commentary gives listeners the information they crave in the way they crave it. It's Handle on the Law, Sunday afternoons from 4 to 7 p.m. right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Thank you! Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
All right, welcome back to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM. And this is where I will say we are starting our regular portion of the Big Top Sports Sporting Hour of Power. I don't know. But the Chicago Cubs did end up winning today against the Miami Marlins.
Long he stays in the game. There's a fly ball in the air to right. He's been susceptible to the long ball of late. And Kyle Tucker has gone deep for the second time in this series. Foot.
And absolutely, Kyle Tucker going deep for the Chicago Cubs. Absolutely awesome. You know what else is awesome? As I was perusing the stat line for the Chicago Cubs, there are now 4 Chicago Cubs with double-digit home runs already this year. I couldn't have said one person last year, I don't think, that had double-digit home runs at this time last year. So we've got 3 of them with 12, and we've got another one with 10. PCA, Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker all have 12 ding-dongs. Dansby Swanson has got 10. Not bad for a struggling Dansby Swanson, or what was a struggling Dansby Swanson, because he's probably one of the hottest Cubs hitters in the lineup. I mean, and then DH, Seiya Suzuki. I mean, have a year already. You realize that he's got, of course you do because I just said it, he's got 12 home runs, 43 RBIs. Let that sink in. 43 RBIs. This is a very impressive stat right here. And you know who's on his tail right now? PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. He's got 39 RBIs. Kyle Tucker, 35 RBIs. Please, oh please. Sporting gods, sporting Chicago Cub gods. Hello? Knock on wood, knock on my head. Please sign these two extensions. Please sign PCA and Kyle Tucker 2 extensions. These guys are what are, PCA is just an absolute 5-tool enjoyment on the field. And when I say 5 tools, he could run, he could throw, he can hit, he can field. Run, throw, hit, field, and he can catch. Yeah, I think that's the 5th tool. Whatever. But sign him up already. Forego his ARB years, arbitration years, and get a deal done. Kyle Tucker, that is a 1-year rental for the Cubs and probably going to be commanding somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to $600 million. Yes, please. Yes, please. Just, I don't know what else to say other than, we do it. Do it now. Oh, and then the pleasant surprise of Matt Shaw over the last few games, where his batting average is suddenly around the area of 217. Now, I know that that may not sound all that much, but considering that he was hitting under 200 when they sent him down to work on any number of hitting issues at the plate, whether it be his weird pigeon-toed stance, whether it be his body striding to the baseball as he was making a swing, whether it was keeping his head still as he was trying to swing at the baseball, having absolutely no luck. So yeah. Dude is 3-for-11 since being called back up. 3-for-11. That's almost good for 333 over the last, three games. So not bad. And he's gotten a couple of RBIs as well. So he's and bonus, he's doing pretty good at third base. I wonder if there's like some sort of correlation. Excuse me. Had to hit the little cough button there. This way I wasn't burping in your ear. Full transparency. And then what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Then you go to the other side of town. Ooh, what was that? I don't know what that was. That was a shock to my system, that's for sure. Oh, and by the way, that clip, that was courtesy of MLB.com, that Kyle Tucker home run there.
Dropping down, and they're not going to challenge, but that was interesting.
Tagged it back. Does he get all of it? He does.
Off the shin of his left leg.
His first
1-2. He bulldozes this into right.
Okay, that was that was the go-ahead home run by Taveras, the 2-run homer in the 8th inning that lifted the Mariners over the Chicago White Sox 6-5. No coming back from that. It was whacked. That was also a courtesy of MLB.com. Whew. So the White Sox drop 5 of 6 over the last 6 games, bringing their record to it's 15-35 right now. not exactly the best. However, Andrew Vaughn is starting to pick it up. His batting average, well, I say that he's picking it up. I could see it with the eye test. The numbers don't necessarily do him any justice because he's still batting 189. Then there's Miguel Vargas, the player of the week last week in the American League. He's doing things, but I mean, where's the rookie here? Tim Elko goes deep today. He's got 3 homers on the year. That's a nice bright spot. Okay, then. Got a little distracted by some unfortunate domestic violence issues going on outside. No fisticuffs or anything. It's just someone was talking about some domestic violence issue. But that's neither here nor there. Where are we? Oh, Lenine Sosa, he hit a bomb today. No, I already said Tim Elko. Who's that dog in the window? Who's that? I don't know the rest of the song. I'm trying to find. Oh, there's Chase. I'm trying to chase Mydroth, and he is batting .301, and he is just continuing to rake. In 93 at-bats for the Chicago White Sox, he's got 28 hits. He's scored 15 runs, 4 doubles, only 1 homer. That's fine. 5 ribbies. He's walked 12 times. He struck out 16 times. I don't care about those strikeouts as long as those walks are where they're at. You know why? Because with those walks and those hits, he's got a OBP of 381. He's got a slugging percentage of 376. That could be a little bit higher. His OPS of 757 could be a little bit better. But this already, in 27 games, he's got a WAR, which is wins above replacement, of a 1.1 already. Let that sink in. A 1.1 WAR, wins above replacement. And the reason why I say let that sink in is because he's only been up here less than a month, less than 30 games. And the White Sox, if I'm not mistaken, where's their record? Oh, Smurf. Well, regardless, they've only got 15 wins. So, I mean, okay, so 15-35, which is 50 games for the Chicago White Sox. He's already got a 1.1 WAR on the season, which is already much better than the likes of, well, I feel like I'm piling on here, but Andrew Vaughn. Andrew Vaughn's got a negative WAR. So he's already 2.1 wins above replacement above Andrew Vaughn. Yikes. Not looking too good for them, but I mean, you got to look it up. You got to look into the bright spots. You got to look in and see what you have. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM. I'm your host, Derrick Geyer, and we will be talking to Grant Leader from the Divided Podcast.
I'm Trey Westerberg, WRMN News. Naperville police responded to 2 large gatherings over the weekend that resulted in several citations and 2 arrests, highlighting growing concerns about disruptive meetups as summer nears. Fox 32 reports on Friday night a crowd of up to 200 teens and young adults gathered in downtown Naperville where officers reported disruptive behavior and multiple ordinance violations. Police arrested a 15-year-old girl from Aurora on 3 felony counts of aggravated battery to a police officer. She also faces misdemeanor charges for resisting arrest, littering, and obstruction. The second incident unfolded Saturday night on the northeast side of Naperville, where about 100 individuals gathered. Police say some participants drove recklessly and lit off fireworks. Officers issued several citations during the event, and a 20-year-old man from McHenry was arrested the following day after an investigation linked him to crimes committed during the gathering. He's charged with reckless driving, reckless conduct, criminal damage to property, and mob action. Lockport Street in Plainfield will see some congestion in a few weeks with the start of an Illinois Department of Transportation project. IDOT will begin bridge deck repairs on Lockport Street in June. As a result, Lockport Street will be restricted to one-way eastbound traffic between Wood Farm Road and Main Street for the duration of the project. Drivers should plan ahead and allow for extra time to drive through the area. Village staff said they will share more information about the project as soon as IDOT makes it available. 9 residents of a house in Elgin had to be relocated after a fire early Monday morning. The Daily Herald reports firefighters responded to a house on the 300 block of Seneca Street just after 4 a.m. on May 19th to find heavy fire on the porch. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the porch and extinguish it quickly, but the interior of the home suffered smoke damage. One person was checked by paramedics on the scene and released. Fire department investigators believe the fire was accidental, caused by discarded smoking materials left on the front porch. The estimated damage to the property is about $25,000. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/apply. That's ethos.com/apply.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today. And speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, rain showers likely with cloudy skies and a low around 46. Gusty winds up to 20 miles per hour. Looking ahead to tomorrow, a chance of rain showers with mostly cloudy skies and a high near 58. Gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Currently, it is 52 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score.
All right, welcome back to Big Top Sports on AM 1410 WRMN. On the line, I've got the one, the only Grant Leader from the Divided Podcast. How the heck are you doing, Mr. G Lead?
Man, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Derek?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And after last night and after over the weekend, you're okay. Oh, my goodness. OKC Thunder rolling on to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. You must be on cloud nine, man.
Well, yeah, cloud nine, but there's still a lot to do. They have about 7 more wins before they can lift the trophy, if that's the case that they're going to do. And right now they're looking like they are on the pace. They are the betting favorites. I think the last time I checked, they were at minus 175 to win the trophy over the Knicks, Pacers, and Timberwolves, the team they're playing right now. So they're looking good. They're playing tough defense. They're playing hard-nosed defense at that. We were kind of talking during the break about Alex Caruso and how that trade has been working out for the Thunder, not only for the regular season, him coming off the bench, but in the playoffs. He's just been matching up with some of the tougher matchups that they're going up against. You know, when I was watching, going against the Grizzlies, he was matching up against John Morant. When I was watching him play against the Nuggets, he was locking down Michael Porter Jr., he was locking down Jamal Murray and things like that. And then this one last night, he was matched up against Anthony Edwards, and he was doing well. And Edwards, he's a bona fide star. Like, he is everything you would think of for a basketball player. He can get to the rim. He can shoot threes. He has tough-nosed defense, and he only scored 18 points last night. And also the Thunder bench was holding their own as well. And the bench for the Timberwolves, I think Naz Reid only had about 8 points and only scored in the fourth quarter. So that just speaks about how good the defense has been for the Thunder. And then Rudy Gobert, everybody's talking about how well he did against the Lakers and how he was able to get to the rim and just grab those offensive boards. And he didn't really do too hot in game one. I'm sure that's going to change later on in the series, especially with everybody else, with Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, and so on for the Timberwolves. But, man, he only scored 2 points in that game and didn't have the crashing of the boards that you expect a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year to do. But it's only game one, and I'm not going to say, like, this series is completely over right now. There's still a lot to be done and decided in this series. But, yeah, the Thunder, they had, I think, their toughest matchup with the playoffs going against the Nuggets. That's a championship-level team that obviously won the championship 2 years ago. And then you're going up against, another MVP candidate in Jokic, the Joker. And then, everybody from that 23 squad that won championship. You got Christian Brown, you got Jamal Murray, you got Joker, you got Michael Porter Jr., you got Aaron Gordon. That starting 5 won the championship 2 years ago. So you're legit going against a championship-level team. And they proved themselves capable of being a championship team, going 7 and then beating them in 7. So it was a tough series for the Thunder, and they came out on top.
Yeah, the one thing that I definitely noticed was when Alex Caruso was on who's the big guy for Denver that he was paired up with in that final game 7? That was Joker.
Yeah, it was
Doncic?
Joker. He matched up a couple times.
Yeah, okay.
Doncic plays for the Lakers, but
okay, that's it.
You're thinking of Joker.
Okay, thank you. So the way that he was actually, I mean, it was wild to see the size comparison between Caruso and Joker. And the way that he was actually able to kind of like use his quickness to get around him. He caused several steals. He was giving Joker fits in that game 7. And then, I mean, has this been, is this what the Chicago Bulls had the entire time while he was here in Chicago? And I just had absolutely no idea that this is the dogged defense that he was playing with?
I think I've talked to my co-host Tilo on the Divided Podcast. You have a chance to check it out. Check us out on Spotify. But shameless plug. But if you see the difference between the two, you see the difference between the two, Alex Caruso playing for the Bulls and then playing for the Thunder. He's got two different roles. The Bulls asked him to do a lot. He was probably either the second to third scoring option for that Bulls team because DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine were obviously the guys, but a lot of the time they got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They were dealing with injuries at some point in the season. I think Zach might have missed at least 30-plus games his last full season with Chicago Bulls, which was last year. So he was supposed to be this guy who would come off and score, and you needed him to score about 10 to 15 to 20 points sometimes, maybe even get 25 to 30 sometimes.
Right.
That's not the case here in Oklahoma City. They have legit 3 scoring options that they have in OKC, and there's no kind of disputing or debating who it is. It's SGA, number 1. It's Jalen Williams, J-Dub, the smaller Jalen Williams, the second scoring option, and then Chet Holmgren is number 3. So Alex doesn't need to play Superman or play this role of I have to get the points, I have to get buckets in order for my team to win. He doesn't have to do that like he did in Chicago. He can be the guy that Mark Daigneault has kind of asked him to be, is coming off the bench, getting tough minutes, not getting 30-plus minutes, but getting around 15 to 20 to 25 minutes in a game and locking down defenders and maybe hitting some clutch shots towards the end of the ball game like he did in Game 1 against Timberwolves and playing some very strong minutes as well. And you talked about it. He was going up against Joker, and yes, the size difference is huge. You know, it's
I just couldn't believe it.
Came in Mutombo.
Yeah,
absolutely. But I mean, his impact on this team doesn't show in his stats. Like, he's only averaging 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists this season, while shooting just below 45% from the field. His impact isn't shown on the stat sheet. It's shown on how hard he works on defense for this team. And this team, not just this year, OKC-wise, in all the NBA is, like, they're astronomically one of the best defenses in NBA history. And I'm not just like trying to gloat and say like I am biased, but I'm not just saying that being a biased OKC fan. I'm just saying that if you go and check some of the records and you go and check some of the stats, they're up there with some of the best teams in the NBA history. The 80s Lakers, the 90s Bulls, 2000 Lakers, like they're up there with those teams defensive wise.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. This is one of those things where, you know, this is your team. You follow them throughout the year. You are the OKC expert here on Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM. I am not going to, you know, argue with you in that regards. And I mean, even still, who is the best player in the association this year?
The best player in the association this year was just crowned today, and that is the point guard for OKC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They announced it today that he is the MVP of the NBA this year.
Right. So you have the best player on legitimately, probably, I'm going to say legit, you know, I'm just going to say it that goofy way, because most likely they are the best current team still playing ball in the association right now with the best player on the team.
Yeah, I mean, they had 68 wins, which was the most out of any team in the NBA this year. They were in the number 1 seed in probably the toughest conference of the two, because everybody talks about it. The West is so much more difficult than the East. You got the Lakers, you got the Warriors, you got the Rockets, you got the Nuggets. And now in the East, it's not that difficult. But at the same time, like, you look at this year, and there's not a lot of parity in the East this year, because you have the number 1 seed, the Cavaliers, and the number 2 seed, the Celtics, both getting bounced out in the second round.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of things happened with the Celtics, with Tatum getting injured.
Yeah.
But the Knicks went into Boston and won 2 games in Boston. Like, they went up 2-0 in fourth. And then Tatum got hurt in Game 4, and Boston was staying alive, and Cornette had a game of his life in Game 5. But it was just too much to handle for Jaylen Brown, just trying to pick up the slack that Jason Tatum carried this team last year and this year as well. But I think, I mean, the first game for the Eastern Conference Finals is about to happen too. I think that's going to be a hard-nosed series. I think this Western Conference Finals is going to be a hard-nosed series. I would venture to guess that both these series will probably go to Game 6 in both sides.
So who do you have in the
really
East? I already know that you want, OKC in the West. So who do you have coming out of the East?
I've been debating a lot. I think that the Knicks obviously they have the home court advantage playing the first two games in New York. I just think that this Pacer team, who was there last year and took the Knicks last year to Game 7 in the semifinals, I think that the Pacers are being severely overlooked by the media because obviously it's New York going against Indianapolis. Like, everybody's going to, put their eyeballs on New York City because it's New York and stuff like that. And it's the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, everybody associated with that team. And then the history of the Knicks as well, Ewing, Oakley, whoever you want to throw in as well, Willis Reed. But I think this Pacers team has been overlooked and doubted a lot this season. They came out with a poll of who's the most overrated player in the NBA, and Tyrese Halliburton, their star number one player, was rated the most overrated player. And this guy just took the Pacers to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. Okay. I don't know if that's overrated. I think that's pretty rated, to say the least. I wouldn't say overrated. This Pacer team could definitely take advantage of being overlooked, and I think the Pacers win in 6. That's what I have right now.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. You guys have been listening to Grant Leader from the Divided Podcast. Check him out on Spotify. Gee, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. Didn't get exactly to the Cubs and or Bears, but that's all right. That's not what you were here for.
I appreciate. If you want me to stay on a couple minutes more, I can.
Okay. So what do you want to do? You want to do Cubs or what you want to do Bears? Floor is yours.
We can do Cubs.
Okay, let's do Cubs.
We can do Cubs. All right.
I'm all for talking about the Cubby Blue. So as I was saying, over the last week on Big Top Sports, that they needed to take at least 7 out of 9 games over the course of those 9 games with the Miami Marlins and the Chicago White Sox. Check.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts and how they are doing at this point, 50 games into this season?
I think that they're exceeding expectations because I remember talking to you right after the Japan series that they had with the Dodgers, and we were talking about how this team is set up pretty much 1 through 8 positions outside of third base. And wouldn't you know, it's pretty set in stone at 1 through 8, and then third base is kind of up in the air.
Right.
They had Matt Shaw in the beginning, then they sent him down. Then they're throwing in this rotation of Nicky Lopez, John Birdie, Bruhan, and stuff like that. They can't figure it out. But then they finally call him back up this series. And he had a pretty decent good series. I'm not going to say he had a great series, but it's very promising.
Yeah, three hits and 11 at bats. So that's not bad. I mean, that's good for about like a 333 or 300 average.
And you want to see a lot of promise out of him because it did not look good when he was up in the beginning of March and April, when he was hitting, 143 or something like that, and that's why they sent him down.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, they were concerned about the leg kick. It was very apparent. It looked like he was trying to, stomp a mud hole into the ground when he was planting his leg. And he still has that leg kick, but it's very work. You can tell there's a difference with this series from Friday to Sunday not Friday to Sunday, Monday through Wednesday.
Right.
Friday to Sunday was pretty fun too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Had to give my buddy Tilo a little bit of trolling done on that series as they swept the White Sox. But talking about that leg kick, you could tell that he definitely worked on it in Iowa. And when he came back, you could tell in this series against the Marlins, he was not throwing it up all the way up like you saw when he was playing in early March and April.
Yeah.
So I like what I'm seeing out of Shaw. If he can stay consistent at third base, and you have PCA, who is on a tear right now. Last time I checked, he had a 3.0 WAR. Man, the only person that's better than him in WAR is Aaron Judge at 4.3, and obviously Aaron Judge is doing astronomical things. Already has 16 home runs, 75 hits, Derek. 75 hits, and we're not even to July yet. He could finish with 75 hits on the season.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I think he can get the 200 hits, possibly 225, finishing with. I think he can finish with 60 to 65 home runs this year. He's just unstoppable. Pretty wild. But, yes, I think this Cubs team is doing good, and they're going above expectations. And I like what I'm seeing, obviously.
Yeah, one of the things that I don't know if you've noticed over the course of like the last 2 or 3 series, obviously both with the Chicago White Sox and the Miami Marlins, is that whenever the door is opened by the opposing team, and by that I mean the errors, the Cubs are pouncing on them. The Cubs are making the teams pay for them. And it's been like this throughout the whole entire season. You know, it was like that against the Dodgers when they were playing them in LA. It was like that with the Padres. It was like that in Arizona. And it still continues to be the theme, is like, make the other team pay.
Right. And I think they've been doing that a lot. You're talking about the Dodgers, and when there's a crack open for this Cubs team, they will blow it open. And we've seen it a couple times where they're coming back against the Diamondbacks. They're coming back against the Dodgers. They're coming back against the Marlins, where they're getting 4 runs, 1 inning, and Justin Turner, of all people, hits a blooper in the left field, rolls to the wall, and Nico and Brujan both score to win the game. I call them the cardiac Cubs. Like, they're never out of the fight. And they can score 10-plus runs in one game, and then they can win 2-1 like they did today against the Marlins.
Right.
I think they are the team with the most games scoring 10-plus runs or more in this season so far. And they have the most players with 10-plus home runs as well. I think they have 4 players right now with 10-plus home runs.
They do. So it's they've got 3 players with 12, and then they've got 1 with 10. Dansby's got 10.
Right. Seiya, Tucker, and PCA all have 12.
12, right.
But I think the one thing that you see, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me with this, is that the one thing that scares me the most is pitching with this team. And it's not starting pitching, it's bullpen pitching. And we obviously talked about it before the season even started, that Jed didn't really do a astronomical job building this bullpen. He kind of just put some guys in place and see, throwing a wet paper towel against the wall, see if it sticks type of thing. And he's already seen guys like Eli Morgan not work out that he signed this offseason. And they're still stuck with who's the closer of the team, because
that's certainly not working out.
No, and Presley can go in and have a great inning, and then he can go in and give up 10-plus runs in one inning and stuff. I think the thing is with Presley is that he doesn't have a lot of swing and miss stuff anymore. He's obviously up there in age. He's not the guy you saw in the Twins or the Astros winning World Series with the Astros. So you're truly trying to figure out who that guy is. And when you traded for him, he was guaranteed the closer spot in the 9th inning.
Right.
Porter Hodge is who the guy I want so badly to be that closer.
And he's on the IL right now.
Yeah. He could throw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, but he has a lot of stuff where it's kind of out of control. He doesn't have a big control of his stuff. And you saw that, in Game 1 on Monday against the Marlins when he gave up that lead for them to win the game. So you're trying to figure out who the closer is. It's kind of like last year when Adbert gave up 15-plus blown saves just to start the season before they got into June. And then you had to have Hector Neris go in and be the closer when he was supposed to be the setup guy. So that is worrisome. Obviously, the offense can score at will. Tucker, PCA, Seiya, Dansby Swanson, Michael Bush, who shouldn't have gone to home today. He should have stopped that third in the ninth inning instead of being. He should have been held up instead of giving the green light to go home. He was out by a mile. But
yeah,
I really like this team. Obviously, we're not even to Memorial Day yet, so there's still a lot of games to be played. Just like you mentioned, only 50 games played so far. But I do like that the expectations have been set for them to just barely win this division. And right now, they look like they can win the division pretty handily. I'm saying this, hoping that they will, because we've seen, I was on here last time with you, right after the Japan series. I talked to you about they went back-to-back 83 win seasons.
Yeah, not good
enough. And they were supposed to win the division those years, and it's not good enough.
Yeah, and then, right now, as things sit, I'm looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going, what the Smurf, man?
I know. I
mean,
so too. I thought their biggest competition was going to be the Milwaukee Brewers, and they've been pretty fledgling, just mediocre at best.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. Jackson Cheerio was supposed to be the future of this team, and every time I look up his name, he's either dropping the ball in center field or he's swinging and missing at pitches, striking out, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
24 and 26, sitting in fourth. I thought that was going to be the toughest competition for the Cubs, but right now it's looking like the Cardinals, obviously.
Yeah, looking like the Cardinals, but here's the good thing about it. They're in first. They're 10 games above 500 right now, which I had absolutely no faith that they were going to be like this in the very beginning of the season, because their opening, month and a half or so was so brutal. And it's an absolutely awesome thing. The one thing that I am a little bit scared about is the starting pitching, though. It's definitely the bullpen.
Yeah.
Definitely the bullpen. I mean, with Justin Steele going on the IL for the remainder of the season, then you've also got the injury to Shota. I mean, he's only starting to throw on flat ground, which means probably like another 2 weeks. He's probably not going to come back until like the middle of June, which means guys like Ray, guys like
Colin Rea and Horton. Those are the two guys that have come in for those two injuries. Yeah.
So I mean, and do you keep those guys around, or do you send them back down? Do you because you kind of need to have them stretched out just in case.
You definitely need to keep one of them because Steele is done for the year.
Yeah.
You need one of them. My personal favorite, I would love to see Cade Horton get a full season in Chicago.
I mean,
I know he wasn't stretched out in Iowa. He only had about 6 starts this year with Iowa or something like that. Rhea is the veteran guy, but he's supposed to be that guy you can plug and play from the bullpen to the starting lineup. He wasn't supposed to be a everyday type starter.
30 seconds.
And that was Ben Brown.
Right.
Brown with 2 pitches. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to see him add something to it.
Yeah, he needs to add a change up.
Me on.
Well, Grant, I appreciate you hopping on today. Grant Leader, once again, from the Divided Podcast, and you are currently listening to WRMN 1410 AM. Up next, we've got Mike Napolitano from... Oh, my goodness. I'm blanking out.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 7 o'clock.
Trey Westerberg, WRMN News. Lockport Street in Plainfield will see some congestion in a few weeks with the start of an Illinois Department of Transportation project. IDOT will begin bridge deck repairs on Lockport Street in June. As a result, Lockport Street will be restricted to one-way eastbound traffic between Wood Farm Road and Main Street for the duration of the project. Drivers should plan ahead and allow for extra time to drive through the area. Village staff said they will share more information about the project as soon as IDOT makes it available. 9 residents of a house in Elgin had to be relocated after a fire early Monday morning. The Daily Herald reports firefighters responded to a house on the 300 block of Seneca Street just after 4 a.m. on May 19th to find heavy fire on the porch. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the porch and extinguish it quickly, but the interior of the home suffered smoke damage. One person was checked by paramedics on the scene and released. Fire department investigators believe the fire was accidental, caused by discarded smoking materials left on the front porch. The estimated damage to the property is about $25,000. Naperville police responded to 2 large gatherings over the weekend that resulted in several citations and 2 arrests, highlighting growing concerns about disruptive meetups as summer nears. Fox 32 reports on Friday night a crowd of up to 200 teens and young adults gathered in downtown Naperville, where officers reported disruptive behavior and multiple ordinance violations. Police arrested a 15-year-old girl from Aurora on 3 felony counts of aggravated battery to a police officer. She also faces misdemeanor charges for resisting arrest, littering, and obstruction. The second incident unfolded Saturday night on the northeast side of Naperville, where about 100 individuals gathered. Police say some participants drove recklessly and lit off fireworks. Officers issued several citations during the event, and a 20-year-old man from McHenry was arrested the following day after an investigation linked him to crimes committed during the gathering. He's charged with reckless driving, reckless conduct, criminal damage to property, and mob action. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
I'm Nick Freeman, and here's what was happening in our fair city 100 years ago. City water is entirely safe, tests prove. If the water that flows out of your kitchen faucet looks like it's just come out of a coal mine, don't be alarmed. A test of the city's water, just completed by Dr. A.L. Mann, city physician, revealed that there is a remarkable freedom from bacteria in it. The black sediment is simply iron sulfate, he explained, and is beneficial to public health rather than detrimental. The city's water is in an almost perfect condition at the present time, Dr. Mann declared after making tests. There is no danger whatever from disease.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, rain showers likely with cloudy skies and a low around 46. Gusty winds up to 20 miles per hour. Looking ahead to tomorrow, a chance of rain showers with mostly cloudy skies and a high near 58. Gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Currently, it is 52 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
The Moose Lodge 799 in Elgin is a place to connect with family, friends, and your community. Moose Lodge 799 is conveniently located at 925 South McLean Boulevard, and they offer fun family activities, exciting community service projects, and live entertainment on the weekends. Moose Lodge 799 opens at 2 p.m. Tuesday through Friday and 11 a.m. on weekends. For more information about becoming a member, call 847-741-0799. Moose Lodge 799, where you're more than a member, you're family.
I know we're at an at-will state, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what, you're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yep, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
Handle on the Law. If you're injured and need a lawyer, go to handleonthelaw.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score.
And speaking about wild games and where they go to score, we are going to be moving this conversation over to Mike Napolitano from On the Rise here on WRMN 1410 AM. Mike, how you doing? You were at the Chicago White Sox game earlier today. How'd that fare out? Wild game, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a back and forth affair, and the White Sox, you know, they held their own with a team that's, you know, leading the AL West basically. So, you know, it was a tough start for the White Sox with the fact that they walked the first two batters. Third guy up is Julio Rodriguez. He hits a home run on the second pitch. That is a 3-run shot right to start the game on the first official batter, right? You know, official at bat. But they climbed back. They had back-to-back home runs. That was later on in the fourth inning. Lenyn Sosa and Joshua Palacios. Matt Tice was on base for the Lenyn Sosa one, so they tie this game up. And that was the first White Sox back-to-back home runs since, I believe they said it was March or April 29th. It was whenever the White Sox played the Brewers last, and that was Andrew Benintendi as one of those two home runs. He was, of course, not in the game today, still kind of on that IR stint, but they had Michael A. Taylor in. They made a couple of substitutions late, but what really hurt them as far as substitutions was the bullpen. You know, they bring in a guy like Mike Vassell, who only goes one inning. He gives up 3 hits, 2 earned runs on that home run late that gave the Seattle Mariners the lead back, and there goes the ball game right there. White Sox are not able to pick things back up. But all in all, it was a pretty well contested game, and got to see a lot from the press box. That, you know, the game started out with a stare down between two players on the Seattle Mariners. That was former Cub Miles Mastrobuoni, and also that was their other catcher, Mitch Garver, who did not start the game. Actually, he didn't play at all. And then on the White Sox side of things, it was Cam Boozer, former Chicago Dog, and also Brandon Eisert, who they took their spots on the lines basically, right in front of the benches for the national anthem, and then didn't leave. It was like a little standoff they had going.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. So basically it's like the good old Western thing where it's like, I'm not going to move first, you're going to move, or, you know, until the umpires go, okay, guys, get the hell out of here.
Exactly, and especially because the umpires did just that. They came out. That was home plate umpire Lance Barksdale, and he was screaming at both sides, going, guys, come on, like, let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's start the game. And eventually the White Sox caved first, and the Seattle Mariners started celebrating because I believe it was, I forget which one it was, if it was Garver or if it was Mastroboni who stayed out there just a tad bit longer, and they considered to have gotten the win. But just a little fun. I was going to ask Venable in the post-game presser a little bit about that, but the room was a little bit more somber after, the White Sox dropped that one late. So it wasn't a whole lot of fun, but you know what, it wasn't down to the dumps. The culture is starting to change there on the South Side, and you're starting to see, despite not getting the results, at least they're picking their head up and going, okay, we need to work a little harder.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you went there, because that was the question that I was going to ask, is like after a heartbreaking loss like that, giving up the home run in either I believe it was the 7th or 8th inning, and to fall short, after having a 1-0 victory yesterday or last night, what the mood is. But that's a good thing. I mean, you never want to lose two out of 3 games, but, they're going to have an off day tomorrow. They're going to face the Texas Rangers on Friday. So there's that. What are your impressions? I mean, you said that you were up in the press box. You've been there a few games already now. What's it like being up in the press box around the quote unquote regulars, if you will, of the reporters, of the contingent that are covering the Chicago White Sox?
It's a good question, because I've been in a couple of different press boxes, and each one is unique, unlike the others, where, you go to a Chicago Fire game and everybody's kind of mingling with each other in the press box and sharing notes and stuff like that. And then you go to the Chicago Stars game, and because it's an outdoor press box, if the weather's cold, we're all just kind of freezing, shaking and shivering and, waiting for the results of the game. But, both press boxes, there's great people in both of those. And that's not unlike the case over at Wright Field with the White Sox. There's a lot of great people. However, a lot of people are baseball is way more, you're taking notes, you're filling out a scorecard. There's a lot more stats that go into it. So people are hard at work. It's a very hard-working press box. I respect everybody that does their job in there. I get a chance to say hi to Scott, who runs the press box there each and every time. And, I'm always very grateful that they'll have us there, of course, on behalf of WRMN. And, everybody's pretty much nice. The one time I didn't look at the signs and I sat on the visiting side of things, that was last game. It was for Miami. I just figured, there was an open seat, and so I took it. So, but, the Miami people, they come in, and they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we're sitting here. I'm like, oh, my bad. So, there's a couple things that are rules and etiquette there, but everybody, is nice for the most part. It's a very quiet environment because everybody is taking those notes and listening in, but there's a PA system in there, so they're giving you a little bit of insight on certain plays, like if something is going to be recorded as an error or a pass ball rather than a wild pitch. So they do a really great job of keeping everybody informed. And you're on the first base side. I'm used to looking at the game from a third base side perspective, but it's still a great view. You get to see everything and take in the entire ballpark.
So now via our conversation on, Instant Messenger or whatever it is that we're using, you had an interesting elevator ride today.
I did. So usually when I'm going up and down the elevator there, I've made friends with the one guy. I apologize, I forget his name, but it always ends up being his elevator cab. So I'm usually just kind of having a one-on-one conversation with him. There's never really anybody else in the elevator unless it's before or after the game when the whole media team is rushing up or down. But this time I got out of there a little quicker to try to get down for the Will Venable press conference outside the clubhouse. And who was trying to get in the elevator was White Sox owner Jerry Reinsdorf, along with his group. So they took the majority of the elevator space, and then stuffed in the back with me was the broadcaster John Schriffen. So I had quite the star-studded elevator ride with the White Sox play-by-play broadcaster and the owner of the team right there. So it was very cool to kind of be in that presence. And I just got those brand new Meta glasses yesterday, so I could take like videos and stuff, or like I could go live on Instagram and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I was struggling to like get them to it was tough signal in the actual elevator, but I was struggling to get them to work. And then I thought about it. I'm like, maybe I won't record these guys without their permission, because I mean, it would have been very cool to document, but it was just a quick elevator ride. Last time I had an elevator ride with White Sox and Blackhawks PA announcer Gene Honda. We had actually met doing the Nihil Championships at the United Center, so it's always nice to kind of.
Whoa, I'm not exactly sure what happened there. It looks like we lost Mike. Hopefully his elevator ride wasn't too bad. And security for Jerry Reinsdorf did not get him, but it looks like we had dropped. And with that being said, that was Mike Napolitano from On the Rise. You are currently listening to WRMN 1410 AM. We'll be back after this.
Hey, Tammy, I just made an AI fact checker for the show. Do you want to try it out?
Sure. Talk Time with Tammy and Friends is the best show on WRMN.
Oh, Talk Time with Tammy and Friends is the best show on WRMN, huh? What a bold, subjective opinion masquerading as a fact. Sure, I bet you and all 12 of her fans feel that way. While I can confirm the show exists, yay for reality, its best status is completely debatable. And yes, congratulations, it does air Monday through Thursday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Let me know when Tammy wins an Emmy or something. Until then, this is a hard nope on objectivity. Grade 310. Fact, Talk Time with Tammy and Friends airs weekdays, Monday, Thursday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on WRMN. Try again when you want to talk about facts, not fangirling.
I'll work on it.
You better. Does your car need a shine? At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they make it quick, easy, and spotless every time. And they're open 24/7 for your convenience. Right now, get a free car wash just for joining their text club. Text BRITT to 30400 and enjoy a free car wash. Visit Britain's Touchless Car Wash at 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin or at 555 Willow in West Dundee. Britain's, caring for your car while caring for our community. In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast, right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
All right, we are back with On the Rise, WRMN 1410 AM, and that is River Media Network Sports. And it looks like Mike Napolitano was able to avoid the hit squad sent out by the Chicago White Sox. I'm just joking around, but Mike is back on the line. Mike Napolitano from On the Rise, Saturday mornings here from 8 to 10. Okay, Mike. Now, before you got whacked off the phone line here, we were talking about you taking the train ride or the ride down with Jerry. That had to be a little surreal, no?
Oh, yeah, the elevator, yeah. I mean, a little bit, yeah. I mean, it all kind of happened so quickly because, you jump in, you're on the 4th floor, you're rushing to get to where the post-game press conference is, and then you just kind of, I mean, I had noticed it before I got in the elevator, who I was stepping in the elevator with, but you kind of look up and you go, huh, how did I get here, right?
Yeah.
So
and
it was an honor, to be in the presence of some White Sox brass, whether it was, Schriffen and Jerry Reinsdorf, but, they're, of course, getting to where they got to go, and then I'm getting to where I got to go. It all happened so quickly, and next thing you know, you're looking back, and you're like, did that just really happen?
Yeah, and speaking from everyone here at WRMN, well, I'm going to speak for myself. Thank you for not recording that that elevator ride down, because, then we might not be able to cover the Chicago White Sox anymore. So, and
no, I mean,
that would not be a good thing.
Yeah. I would have asked before, of course.
I am joking, of course. I know you would never do anything that foolish. Speaking of, well, I don't even know why I transitioned it like that, but transitioning on to the WNBA, you will be at the Chicago Sky game tomorrow, correct?
I will be. It'll be opening night for the Sky at home. They played one game over the weekend.
True.
Out
against
in Indiana.
Against the Fever.
Yeah. So tomorrow night will be the home opener, and it'll be against the defending champs in the New York Liberty.
Ooh, that is a tough task indeed, because, man, I saw their inaugural game over the weekend, and they looked absolutely very tough, to say the least. And the way that the Sky got kind of dismantled by another hopeful WNBA playoff team, I say hopeful, in the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, because they also got, they got destroyed by the Fever over this, past weekend. But
yeah,
a couple of tough games to open it up. I mean, then. So what are your thoughts for tomorrow's game?
I'm going in just kind of not even having any kind of expectations. We saw this Sky team fight for a playoff team last year, and then it was injuries that hurt them towards the end of the season that had them drop out of the playoff running altogether. So if they're all healthy, which it looks like only Mariah Jefferson will be out with a leg injury, for the most part, this team is healthy. And we'll get a chance to see what they look like, if they are kind of that middle-of-the-pack team that competes for a playoff spot. And by middle of the pack, middle of the playoff pack, kind of, really, because they were kind of hovering around that 5th or 6th seed, and it's the top 8 teams that make it. So if they can kind of stay there this year, I think that'll bode well for them. But, yeah, like you said, they're going to have a tough start with, the defending champs and a Fever team that were – surprising a lot of people last year. I think they'll make a deep playoff run this year, now that they have a second year, about to have a second year of Caitlin Clark under their belt. And, so it's not going to be easy for Chicago teams ever, is I think what we've learned. But if they can find a way to play their game, and, of course, under a new head coach in Tyler Marsh, we'll get a chance to talk to him tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table and how he's going to kind of change the strategy, change the culture, change the mindset.
Yeah. And going back to that WNBA game with the Chicago Sky when they were playing the Indiana Fever, the WNBA released a statement, and I'm reading this off The Athletic, that the WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society, the league said in a statement. And that was basically because Angel Reese was booed multiple times by fans inside the Gamebridge Fieldhouse, peaking when she approached the free throw line easy for me to say, for a pair of shots after officials called Caitlin Clark for a flagrant foul. That was debatable. On Reese, midway through the third quarter of Indiana's eventual 35-point victory. Now I say, I'm adding my commentary there because it didn't look much like a flagrant foul, even though the officials and everything, said that it was a flagrant foul. So there's that. I just don't understand how I get the discrimination. I get the racism. I get the hate and the discrimination and all that. However, if you are a fan in a venue, is it not all right to boo the opposing player? Racism aside,
it comes down to
go ahead. I'm sorry.
If any of that is racism, then that's not okay. If any of it is kind of that harassment that steps over the line, and we've all been at sports stadiums. I think we all know examples of that, or even just in everyday life. If you come into some kind of confrontation, you know what stepping over the line looks like, right? And that of course is not okay. But to cheer on your team and boo the opposing team, I mean, that's just a part of sports. That's not any kind of race or war or whatever you want to call it. As far as that they're not. I don't believe a lot of those fans were attacking Angel Reese because of the color of her skin. I don't think anybody was attacking Caitlin Clark because of the color of her skin. I think that they just have that heated rivalry, and it's one versus the other.
Right.
And of course, certain sources are going to paint it in that light, but I really just believe it has everything to do with what goes on the court. And just let's be honest, these two women, they don't like each other, and that extends even kind of off the court. So, I mean, it's not something you want to see, because you want to see, when you step off that court, a lot of players leave the game behind, and they can be professionals and stuff, or at least, grin and bear it. And these two just really can't. And I hate to say it's more on the Chicago end of things with Angel Reese, where I think Caitlin Clark, I think you see her go into these post-game pressers and these interviews, and there's no sweat off her back, right? Like she off her brow. She's like, I'm just going out there and doing what I can to be better and to play the game. And, Angel Reese has said a couple of things that she has taken to heart, So as far as that foul goes, Angel Reese has the ball. Caitlin Clark doesn't have her covered. Nobody has her covered. She has to go and she has to take that foul. Now, did she extend the arm a little extra? Yeah, and that was probably because she just witnessed her teammate get shoved down and there was no call. So in the moment, maybe had a little bit of an excessive force on that. But, for Angel Reese to have felt like that, she was both sides were trying to milk the call, and tempers flare, and both teams are reprimanded, and right. You get the result that you get. But the final score is really all that matters in that game, and it did not go Chicago's way. So, for the sake of the Chicago Sky, they're hoping to turn things around once they hit the home court tomorrow.
Yeah, and based off of what you had just said, and that was a very good explanation of what had happened, because Angel Reese did push Clark's teammate. There was no call on that. Yeah. That should have been. And then when Clark goes ahead and tomahawks, for lack of a better word, both of Angel Reese's arms, that's one thing. Yeah. But then, to me, Reese flopped after that. She flopped after getting hit. So, I mean, that's the extent of that. But the thing that, like, in my head is Caitlin was walking away, and then all of a sudden Reese takes umbrage, just for the simple fact that Reese and Clark don't get along. And as you were saying, with the post-game press conferences, it's like, whatever. I'm here to play basketball. I'm not here for this, Smurf stuff, getting all, hot and bothered going against Angel Reese.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you want to stick around for another segment and talk some hockey, or did you need to get going, Mr. Napolitano?
I got to get going, but
Alrighty.
like I said, I'll be at Sky tomorrow, Boomers Friday, and then Dalton and I will be at Indy 500 on Sunday for WRMN. So
Awesome. Thanks for hopping on, Mike. Mike from On the Rise, AM 1410, WRMN.
I'm Trey Westerberg, WRMN News. Lockport Street in Plainfield will see some congestion in a few weeks with the start of an Illinois Department of Transportation project. IDOT will begin bridge deck repairs on Lockport Street in June. As a result, Lockport Street will be restricted to one-way eastbound traffic between Wood Farm Road and Main Street for the duration of the project. Drivers should plan ahead and allow for extra time to drive through the area. Village staff said they will share more information about the project as soon as IDOT makes it available. 9 residents of a house in Elgin had to be relocated after a fire early Monday morning. The Daily Herald reports firefighters responded to a house on the 300 block of Seneca Street just after 4 a.m. on May 19th to find heavy fire on the porch. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the porch and extinguish it quickly, but the interior of the home suffered smoke damage. One person was checked by paramedics on the scene and released. Fire department investigators believe the fire was accidental, caused by discarded smoking materials left on the front porch. The estimated damage to the property is about $25,000. Naperville police responded to 2 large gatherings over the weekend that resulted in several citations and 2 arrests, highlighting growing concerns about disruptive meetups as summer nears. Fox 32 reports on Friday night a crowd of up to 200 teens and young adults gathered in downtown Naperville, where officers reported disruptive behavior and multiple ordinance violations. Police arrested a 15-year-old girl from Aurora on 3 felony counts of aggravated battery to a police officer. She also faces misdemeanor charges for resisting arrest, littering, and obstruction. The second incident unfolded Saturday night on the northeast side of Naperville, where about 100 individuals gathered. Police say some participants drove recklessly and lit off fireworks. Officers issued several citations during the event, and a 20-year-old man from McHenry was arrested the following day after an investigation linked him to crimes committed during the gathering. He's charged with reckless driving, reckless conduct, criminal damage to property, and mob action. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Will Walker with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, rain showers likely with cloudy skies and a low around 46. Windy conditions with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Looking ahead to Thursday, a chance of rain showers with mostly cloudy skies and a high near 58. Currently, it is 50 degrees and overcast. With your Fox Valley forecast, I'm Will Walker on WRMN, the talk of the town.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride.
That's right. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM, and this is about the time of the show that I go a little loopy. But we've got a caller on the line, but before we go to the caller, this is what we're going to be talking about.
Long on a three. And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark. Afterwards has something to say as Clark walks away. We know there are always increased eyeballs, energy, and attention around the matchups between Reese and Clark, and Angel Reese.
And that's basically what happened over the weekend when the Chicago Sky faced off against the Indiana Fever. And going to the phone lines right now. Hello, caller. Thank you for calling in. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is only Jeff of Jeff's from Train World.
Oh, well.
And the Dutchman. And the Dutchman, too. So, yeah. But, I saw that. I came in a couple of minutes before that all happened.
Okay.
And I saw it happen. All right. And Angel Reese made a big deal out of it. So part of it is her fault.
Okay.
And I didn't see the part where somehow I think I missed that one where Sky went after her and committed a foul and didn't get it called. It didn't get called like you were talking about. I didn't see that one. But those two hate each other.
It's definitely a cat and dog thing.
Well, Angel needs to take a chill pill. I've listened to her conversations. And she's a great woman basketball player, but she needs to calm down. And I think, she keep the rate she's going, she's going to end up getting a lot of fouls and getting in trouble because she's, you can't improve and be the kind of way she was. She's letting Caitlin Clark get to her, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Same thing with Caitlin Clark. The two of them need to take and look at it, like win the game, focus on the game, playing what you're supposed to play, instead of going out at each other. You know what I mean? It's not basketball.
No, it's definitely not basketball. But I mean, when you have the competitive juices flowing, and you're going up against your rival, and having played sports and everything, and we've all been there. And, well, first off, before I continue on my little tangent and everything, thanks for calling in, Jeff. I appreciate it. You have a great rest of your day.
You too, and good luck with the show, buddy.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Like what they're doing there. I'll be listening.
I appreciate it, and I will be responding on the YouTube.com at WRMN Radio side of things. So thank you for calling, Jeff. Jeff Train World, an avid listener here at WRMN 1410 AM, the talk of the town. Listen live at WRMN1410.com, smart speaker, or if you want to call in like Jeff just did, call in at 847-931-1410. Or if you want to be a part of the text line, text in, not call in, text in at 505-926-1410. And don't forget about the morning show on WRMN. Susie Q. Get in early with the question of the day for her. Don't forget Mr. E-Train. I think it's E-Train. Mr. Elliot Serrano. Excuse me. My goodness. I'm getting all choked up over here. They've got some very compelling stuff. I on the WRMN morning show from 6 to 8 a.m. And then don't forget about the local community hour from 9 to 10. Out to lunch with Mr. Matt McNeil from 10 to 1. Democracy Now! 1 to 2. Talk Time with Tammy 2 to 4. And who could forget about Mr. Dennis Sonar Green with a political talk show from 4 to 6. And bringing up the rear, fittingly enough, is yours truly, Derrick Geyer and Big Top Sports on WRMN River Media Network. Sports! Whew, that was a mouthful. It's a good thing I am on radio, and that is what I am supposed to be doing. But yeah, I mean, going back and forth, it's kind of much ado about nothing as far as Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. I mean, it kind of is what it is because they did not like one another when they were in, the NCAA going at it. And anytime you're going, my goodness, I'm a little gassy. I apologize. Too much behind the curtain. The curtain. Not the curtain, but the curtain. Anyways, there's no space for racism. It's racism, not racism, at games. There's no reason to behave like a jackass at games. I assume that there are young families and or young women, young girls that are going to these events because they want to see something as magical as Caitlin Clark has been for the league. And let's take Caitlin Clark out of it for a second, because even if you're not going to see Caitlin Clark play and you're going to see your Chicago Sky play against the New York Liberty tomorrow at Wintrust at 7 p.m., you don't want any of that atmosphere around your kids either. Let alone getting into fights, tossing things at one another because you don't agree with someone's views, because you don't agree that some fan is chirping your team. Let's be honest. That's the fun aspect of being a fan. Until that line is crossed. That's when things aren't fun anymore. That's when kids start to cry. That's when punches start to be thrown, which should never happen. But I mean, let's face it. I mean, Cubs Sox, kind of is what it is, I suppose. Bears Packers, it is what it is, I suppose. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't get to that extreme. It just shouldn't. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break because apparently I can't get this frog out of my throat. You're currently listening to WRMN 1410 AM. Big Top Sports, Derrick Geyer.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has two convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's touchless car wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
Kids today live in a world full of social pressure, bullying, and substance abuse. LEAD has a solution. LEAD connects law enforcement agencies with schools to deliver tested, proven, and effective anti-drugs and violence training to kids. Learn more about LEAD, Law Enforcement Against Drugs and Violence, and our work to create safer, healthier communities at leadrugs.org or on social media at We Are LEAD. Sponsored by LEAD, Inc.
Want to furnish your space without breaking the bank or the planet? Remix Market is your destination for high-quality pre-loved furniture, home decor, and more. Each purchase helps us rehome items and keep them out of landfills. From statement pieces to everyday essentials, you'll find it all at Remix Market. Visit us online at remixmarket.com and shop secondhand treasures today.
A loved one owns a gun, and for a while now, you've been concerned about their behavior. They're just not acting like themselves. They've been distant, they've been unpredictable, they've been lashing out. They've been saying things that make you worried they might harm themselves or friends or family. Or you're worried this loved one might hurt you. Maybe they recently threatened someone with their gun. You know something needs to be done, and you wish more than anything you could hit pause on this situation. Well, here in Illinois, you can, with a firearm restraining order. In extreme cases, this order temporarily prevents a person in crisis from having a firearm, giving them time to heal before they do something dangerous or even deadly. If you are worried about a loved one in crisis who has access to a firearm, learn more about firearm restraining orders at illinois.gov/pause to heal. A public service announcement brought to you by the Illinois Department of Public Health, Brady, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to Big Top Sports on AM 1410 WRMN River Media Network Sports. Oh, that felt good. That felt good. Man, can't tell you. Been fighting this thing for about 2 weeks. Still a little congested, still a little whatever, but you don't care about that. We're here to talk sports, and I am here for it. I'm your host, Derrick Geyer, Big Top Sports. So let's see. Chicago Bears. Seems like the Chicago Bears have been in the news for the better part of all of this year. All of this year. Finally beat the Packers in Green Bay. Last win of the season for the Chicago Bears, which makes them a perfect 1-0 in 2025. They got Ben Johnson, their coach of choice. They've got their coaching staff of Ben Johnson's choice. They picked up Lachlan, their tight end of choice, with the number 1 pick. They have upgraded their offensive line and extended Joe Thuney of the Chicago Bears, who I should probably know this. So they extended offensive lineman Joe Thuney to a 2-year extension through 2027. They are, and then when I say we, they are looking forward to Joe being a member of the Chicago Bears for the years ahead, said General Manager Ryan Poles. Joe's leadership and experience have already positively impacted our organization, and we are fortunate that he will continue to lead our team on and off the field. Hoo-wee. And that was Chicago from the ChicagoBears.com. I mean, not only is that important, but I mean, let's see. Tooney is a 4-time AP, which is All-Pro selection, and 4-time Super Bowl champion. Who doesn't like to hear that? He has also, hi, Brandon. How you doing? I appreciate you listening. He has also started all of 167 games in his playing career, including postseason. My goodness. To have that kind of presence on the offensive line for the Chicago Bears is going to be huge for Caleb Williams to stand upright and not get dumped on his head some 60 plus times. And when I say dumped on his head, my goodness, dumped on his head, sacked 60 some odd times, in addition to being pressured another 50 plus times. Let's see, 60 plus 50, that's 110 times that Caleb Williams was running for his life. And the reason why this is a good thing, I mean, obviously, Tooney starting all 167 games because the offensive line was Swiss cheese last year, turnstile, whatever you want to say about that. This adds the level of protection that the Chicago Bears need, obviously. But this also gives the rookies from this draft class 2 to 3 years for them to learn from this four-time All-Pro selection and 4-time Super Bowl champion. I mean, let that sink in. Because when was the last time that the Bears actually had an All-Pro offensive lineman? Yeah, exactly. And not only that, the Bears were also in the news for potentially going to Arlington Heights. Hoo-wee. This Arlington Heights City of Chicago drama is just... I know that Mr. Kevin Warren has said that there's going to be shovels in the ground by the end of this year. Whether or not that's going to happen remains to be seen. And that remains to be seen whether or not it's going to happen before December 31st at 11:59 p.m. and 59 seconds. But it's looking like the Chicago Bears are heading out to Arlington Heights in this new turn of events. They seem to have worked out whatever issues there were with the teachers board in Arlington Heights. The spokesperson for the mayor of Chicago has said that they are still in the hunt for it, although they are not currently on the playing field. And that was from, that was from so many windows open. But regardless, that was from the Chicago Tribune in regards to that, and I am paraphrasing that because no one really knows what's going on. It would be a smart move. Every single person. Okay, maybe not every single person, because the powers that be are included in this. But every single person knows that the Chicago campus is not the area for the Chicago Bears to be playing at. It is a nightmare to get down there. It's a nightmare to leave. In all accounts, I've heard, and granted, this is secondhand, but regardless, it took them 3.5 hours to get out of the parking lot at Soldier Field when there was a Bears game. Now, I don't know if they were having a little extra libations or maybe cooking up a little extra brats or whatnot. But, I mean, something needs to happen. A stadium for the Chicago Bears, and I assumed it would, I would think, it would be a dome stadium to where you could actually hold other events. Like, I don't know, a Super Bowl? NCAA tournament, basketball, men's and or women's? Various concerts throughout the year? Oh, maybe. A WrestleMania? Like, WrestleMania, what's that? WWE. I'm a wrestling fan. I have absolutely no problem admitting it. But that's neither here nor there. And if you're going to be complaining about the fact that, Chicago is not going to capitalize on any of the revenue or whatever, it's still in Cook County. Sure, monster truck shows, why not? Cook County is still, the last time I checked, Arlington Heights is still in Cook County. There are going to be, obviously, built up hotels and everything around the Arlington Heights property and the stadium. But, if you're coming to Chicago and you're a tourist, you are most likely going to want to stay downtown and enjoy the amenities that Chicago has. Well, that's enough of a rant about that. I'll rant a little bit more about the Chicago Bears and the happenings going on this week tomorrow. Yes, that's right. You get a double dose of me and Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. White Sox are off. That means I am on. I want to send a special thank you to Mr. Grant Leader from the Divided Podcast. Thank you for coming on and talking OKC basketball. I also want to thank Mr. Mike Napolitano from On the Rise and giving me a little bit in-depth perspective about the Chicago White Sox. I'm Derrick Geyer. I promise to do better tomorrow. You're currently listening to WRMN 1410 AM.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410. Elgin time, 8 o'clock.